right, good morning. It's Wednesday, June 22nd, 8:25 in the morning. We are 5 minutes away from the open. It's 8:25 Central Time. And we've got Jerome Powell speaking today at 8:30 Eastern, or 9:30 Eastern, which would be about another 5 minutes. So I don't know how long he's slated to speak, but that is something that we want to be mindful of, that he's going to be talking. And I don't know if he's answering questions or just what he's got prepared. So we'll watch the market activity either way. Okay, over here on this screen that you're looking at, we've got the 15-minute on the left, 15-minute chart, and the 1-minute chart on the right. The dotted lines just denote the overnight high and the overnight low. So looks like a pretty decent range. We were up to 37.70 for the high and down to like 36.90s. So about an 80-point range there from high to low. So pretty big range. Let's look at the daily chart, get a kind of like a 30,000 foot view, get some more context. Here's our daily chart. So this is what we did yesterday right here. And this was the shortened period on Monday. Now we're finding ourselves, I think we're like 37.15. So we're real close to the close the other day, the high here, and then this open right here. We were at 37.10 not too long ago. So that's the daily, and then of course we've got, let me pull up another screen. We've got the overnight right here. Let me drag that one in. So this is the 5-minute on the right, 15-minute on the left. Here's our overnight price action. So I'll be looking at some of these areas potentially for spots to do business, be it higher or lower, and we'll go from there. Wow, so I guess Powell's speaking tomorrow too. I wonder if what he's speaking on today versus tomorrow. Just says he's speaking. So he's today at 8:30, then he's tomorrow at 9. Tomorrow we've got some more important data coming out as well. So tomorrow could be a busy morning. I might have to watch the markets pre-market tomorrow. Sometimes you get some good moves before the day even starts. All right, so we're about, where are we? 2 minutes from the open. I'll do what I do every morning, and that's just to note the first minute of trade with the high and the low. We'll make lines in that area. We just call that the opening range. We are gapping lower. Gap fill would be right around here, right around the open yesterday, 37.35. But here just a few minutes prior, we're pushing up. We were 15 points lower just, 10 minutes ago. So we'll wait and see. Wonder if I should consider looking up, see if I can get a feed for what Powell's saying. I won't listen to it, but just to see when he's done. All right. Well, that's that. All right, so we're going to remind ourselves today that we can and will have a winning performance every single day. We define a winning performance as simply just watching and observing the markets, just letting the market action unfold, letting it even tell us where it wants to go, what it wants to do. Not fearing that we'll miss the move. And then lastly, just executing with stop and targets in place. If we do that, win or lose, we've had a successful performance during the day, because our losses are going to be calculated, our rewards are going to be calculated, we're going to trade appropriately, we're going to be concerned about following the process well, knowing that the outcome will come after that. There we go. All right. All right, so we've got our first minute of trade. So we've got our opening range here. First minute, the high and the low, and there we are. So I don't know, I would assume that Powell's speaking right now. Sometimes they're late, sometimes they're right on time. Coming up to our gap fill, looks like we're gonna get it here. I would consider that a fill. We got close enough to 35. So again, I'm not sure how long Powell's speaking for. I'll probably check in with the news here shortly and see, try to get some idea of how long it is. But pretty big blast there. Pretty big movement to the upside. Thinking maybe this gives a little bit more context. Here's our 15-minute overnight. So the gray shaded area is the overnight session, and then this is our 5-minute. So pretty explosive 5-minute bar here. We still got a little while till this bar closes, but looks pretty strong. If anyone's watching, do you guys know what time Jerome Powell is supposed to talk until? Like how long his speech is this morning? So we've got another minute till our 5-minute bar closes. It'll be interesting to see how this one closes. Pushed up, now we're coming back in. We'll see what it does. So this will be interesting to see what this one does. all the way back to opening range, close to it. Thanks, James P. Yeah, me neither. I'm gonna check here and see if there's any data that shows how long he might be talking until. Alright, so I just got a video pulled up. I'm gonna see if I can glean any insight as far as what he's talking about today. So he's speaking before Congress today, I suppose. So who knows how long that could go? That could just be forever. Looking bullish, I suppose. If you wanted to get long, you could get long here and do it against either this level or maybe this little spike here. I'm not getting long here, but just thinking out loud. So that's that pretty much. All right. So again, I haven't done anything. I know Jerome Powell is speaking right now. He's testifying before Congress, probably defending his actions for the 75 basis point rate hike from last Wednesday. So just mindful of that. Might might be a morning where I've just got to sit for a while. So this is an interesting move. All the guys who did get long, they're probably second guessing themselves now and wondering if they want to stick with this thing. And there's some areas too that really make sense to me as far as like doing business there, and then there's other areas where, you know, the market just stops somewhere for a different reason, or it may be a very good reason, it just doesn't make sense to me. So this level here with all this stuff going on, I guess we did close the gap. So, but yeah, it just came up, did an about face, turned right back around. So as far as what I want to do or how I want to do it, I don't really have a thesis just yet. I'm trying to make sense of what I'm seeing. So again, we'll go back to the analogy of watching a sketch artist. And at times you might be able to look at what the artist is drawing and just see what it looks like, or see what he's painting or sketching immediately. But then there might be other times where it takes you quite a while to decipher what he's drawing. That may come in a matter of minutes or hours, and so I like to equate that to watching the market. You know, there's times where you can see what you think is happening very quickly, very, very clearly as well. You've got a good idea, and that happens, let's say, in a relatively short amount of time, whatever that is for you, depending on your time frame. And then there might be other times where you've got to just sit and be patient and wait and hang in there and let more market generated data come your way until you can make till you can like pose a valid thesis or hypothesis for what you think the market is going to do, and have a strong enough conviction that you want to put money behind it. That's the that's the rub, right? That's the important part. So yeah, being that Powell is testifying before Congress today, this could be just hours and hours of talking. And there could be points that he makes that are very important, and then there could be points that are not that big of a deal, and the market could react either way. We don't have any other data coming out today. We've got a bond, a 2-year note auction at 10:30, but that shouldn't be of any consequence. All right, so let's see if the bulls hold it here. It did like a little retest of the opening range. Let's see if they hold it and push it higher. I'm going to pull up the NASDAQ real quick just to take a peek. I haven't updated these lines on it. We'll just remove that guy. Remove. All right. Just looking at the daily really on NASDAQ. So NASDAQ a bit stronger. Yeah, so here's our 15-minute, kind of condensed, but good amount of business took place in here. Looking a little weaker now. I feel like I might try to sell some here against this 37.40. So I just sold some right here. I'm in 30% of what I'll allow myself to get into. Kind of a big pop right there. I don't want to see it get much above this. If I do, I'm just going to bail on it. It was small enough to where I'm not really risking too much. I jumped the gun on that one a little bit. Got a tight stop in place. Alright, that one took me out. I'm out. Saw us come up and then come down, thought we might get a fail and then follow through there, but we didn't. And that one, yeah, a little antsy on that one. But that was a smaller amount. It's 30%, so it wasn't too big of a deal. I might try it again if we come back down in this range. Short, that is. I might try getting short again. I'm going to try it again against this spike right here. So I'd say 40 is our battle zone. If you're long, a good target would be upper 50s, I believe. If you're short, next target would be down here, then the lower part of that range. Got another 2 minutes, so we get a new 5-minute bar in. Got my stop just above the high of the day. Again, I'm watching this 40 level to see if we pull back in under it. All right, we've got another minute till we get a new 5-minute bar. So let's see where this one closes. Depending on where it does, I might try to add some and sell some more, get short a little bit more. Alright, it's looking like it could end pretty strong here unless it changes in the next 10 seconds. But 5-minute bar looking pretty strong. So I've got my stop just above here, just above the high of the day. Mindful that Powell is speaking, so the market can be a little erratic. Not that it is right now. It's pretty much in a lull right now. Let's see if we get under 40 and hold that. I'm going to sell a little bit more right there. All right. First target's going to be down here. Let's see what we're looking at on the 5-minute. So here's our 5-minute. Here's our, let's look at our 15 real quick. Here's our 15. I guess it was holding it against, yeah. So it came up, 5-minute came down to this area right here, this kind of 34, and then it's bouncing off of it now. But I'd like to see some continuation, some follow through the downside. We'll see if we get that. We might not. Oh, thanks, James P. Cool. Semi-annual talk he gives to Congress. I'm watching the 50 level. I want to see it stay below 50. All right, I got one of my little pieces stopped out. I'm still in 3/4 of it though. But my uncle point is 50, which we're right, just knocking right on the door. All right, I'm almost completely stopped out here at this level. All right, I'm out. I'm done. 50 was the point where I knew I'd be wrong. So again, yeah, if you're bullish, the high 50s, that's a good target. Good place to take a little bit off the table. So we're pretty strong right out of the gate here. I thought we might fade and come back in, but we haven't. 40 was a kind of a battle zone. We came under it, then just pushed right back above it. Now we're going higher. 37.95 yesterday. We never got there. Maybe today's the day that we see that number. It'd be pretty bullish. We'd have an engulfing bar on the daily if that happened. Well, let's sit back and wait. Let's see what the market wants to do. Let it settle in a bit. We're just a half hour into the trading day. So on that one, I got to remind myself, even though I had two losers back to back, the process was followed pretty well. The first trade was a little bit premature on that, but the second one, looking at the minute chart, there was a little bit more data that I liked, and had a good stop in place there, so didn't get crushed on it. That's part of trading. You take your losses, and if you do, they should be defined. You should know where you're wrong, which we did on that one. So the process was followed pretty well. We knew our targets. And we just wait until something else catches our eye. Anyone else take any trades? Anything you're looking for? Anything you see? It's pretty bullish right out the gate here. Here's our 15, just right up. Let's see here. Not yet. Yeah, good man, Tech. I envy that position. Probably should have sat on my hands as well. Like Mark Douglas says, right? There'll be times when doing nothing is like putting money in the bank. Yeah, pretty big move there on the 5 minute. We covered, looks like 25 points or so. So that's a good move. Yeah, today I want to get a feel for where the battle zones are. Kind of draw my lines or have my mental notes and then act accordingly. So from lower, I mentioned that if you were someone who was long, you'd be looking at the high 50s to take some off the table. Looks like we came up to what, 62.5 there? And then we're reversing a bit now. Here's our daily again. Let me expand this a little bit more. So here's our daily. We're back inside of yesterday's price action. Came up, now we're coming down a little bit more. We'll see what we get over here on the 1 minute. So here's our 5-minute and our overnight on the 15. So we've come down since the open. We've just pushed off quite a bit. Just wondering who's going to be in control, the bulls or the bears, and at what price level. I still want to find a spot to short. I just don't want to get run over trying to do that. This is a good little head fake here. We came up, looked like it was going to continue, and then sold off a bit. Trying to hug that line. If we got up to 57, I'll probably look for another short somewhere up there. If we come up to it and then fail. I don't have any working orders and I don't have any resting orders. So I'm going to watch the price action first. We'll know when we see it, right? Yeah, so I'm not doing anything just yet. Just gonna let the market play out, let it shake out a bit. I'm watching that overnight high. I'm not getting short right here just because we could quickly be up at the overnight high. We could also be 10 points lower. You don't know. So I feel like potential battle zone is this 57 half level. We'll watch and see what it does there, like how it reacts. Whether it pushes above it, whether it holds it, stays, and comes back in. But I feel like that's an area that could have some significance. Long on the 3-minute. All right. 37.52. That's good. I would guess your stop right around 47 or 45 tech. What's your target? Mid 60s? Low 60s? Five-minute still holding in there. It is looking nice. So is the 1-minute regarding the move to the upside. So there it is. Let's see. I would feel like we should get some continuation. Nice spot there, Tech. Good call. Hey, great trade, Tech. That's really a nice one. Looks like we're working on getting into where we spent so much time yesterday. We should pretty much be between 37.80 and call it 60. Had that nice pull back to halfback, then got in yesterday. Then got back into that range yesterday. Well, just hanging tight. Anyone else? Any trades? Any levels you're looking at? Anything you're watching? Let's pull the daily in again. So here's our daily chart. Filled the gap, and now we're just pushing up higher. So we're above yesterday's close right now. We're up into the wick of yesterday, and the market is pretty strong, not backing down. Just pushing up, up, up. NASDAQ pretty strong. NASDAQ did not have a gap this morning, and it's very close to yesterday's highs. Yes, getting closer to yesterday's highs. So, yeah, maybe we do see 95 or even 3,800 today. Maybe today's the day. Yeah, that's good. Could be a big just big up move of a day, Tech. Yeah, 15-minute is just super strong. You could take this out and then just keep pushing higher. Let's see if I can see what you were looking at. Let's make this a 3-minute. Say okay. Saw that come up, probably that little bit of a curl right there. Got involved to the upside, I would imagine, to get you in at 52.5. Yeah, that's a great trade. Now, Tech, did you say that you scale? Do you scale out at all, or are you just all in and all out? And so you're long 52 half. You're trailing it, which a day like today, I think that's a good idea. But do you take a little bit off the table? Kind of pay yourself along the way, or you just fully in and fully out? Yeah, that 15-minute looks so nice. Just really strong. All right, so we just took out yesterday's high. NASDAQ doing the same, so all right, let's see how far this thing can go. Let's see. It's a strong one today. Strong market today. So even though I had the two losers in the morning, it's a good thing to have stops in place, right? This is something where if you're not disciplined, not self-controlled, if you're just rigid and you're fighting the market, you can have a thesis and you can be dead wrong. It's better to just admit you're wrong and get out and let the market do what it wants to do. Anyone who's fighting this market today, they're going to come out with some bruises and some pain. Looks like our next stop is 37.95 to 3,800. 15-minute, not backing down, just super strong, pushing right up. So I'm not involved. I'm not on the train. So yeah, we've got an engulfing bar from the other day. We put in a lower low, but we've also put in a higher high. Just looking at some puts here in Starbucks. I'm gonna sell a few more of those. All right. Still strong, just hanging in there. No reason to fade it. So I'm just adjusting some puts I had in Starbucks, but not doing anything on the ES right now. I'm just hanging tight. There's really nothing I can do at this point. I'm not short from here. I'm not long. So I'm just gonna sit and wait. I like it, Tech. 30 points for you. Locked in 30. I think that's a good level. Right there where that little bit of congestion, a little pause is. Great trade. Well done. Very good. So here's our daily. Here it is. So just big engulfing bar right here. Filled the gap, blew right through this body, and now we're trying to put in new highs of the day. Seeing if we touch 37.95 to 3800. Maybe we pause there, maybe we come back in, maybe we go higher. Let's see what our next target to the upside could be. So targets, you've got, I suppose, high 3790s. After that, I'd feel like high 38 if it just wants to remain strong and keep going. Oh, it's 9:36. I'm probably gonna wrap it up here pretty soon. Market pressing higher. All right, there's 95. Let's see if we get 3,800. 3,800 even. So here we are, just up, up and away. Up, up and away. Yeah, I agree, gold fever. Just a strong trend up today. Strong trend up. It was Micah last Thursday had the trade of the day. He was good for 30 points to the downside. I gotta give the trade of the day to Mr. Tech 111 today. Long at 52 half. Stop in place, he said at 37.83. Still holding. So trade of the day. That's the trade of the day. So we are still strong, just up and up, holding. Well, not much that I'm doing right here. Not too much. Good management there, Tech. Great management. Well, we got close to 3,800 there. Hit my 37.95. All right, so looks like first red bar of the day on the 15-minute. We got still got another 5 minutes, but profits were taken. Now we'll have to decide what could happen from here. Another little battle zone I feel is like 84 to about 90. $83.75, a nervous long. That's good gold fever. Feel like you could hold it. Well, I'll let you hold it against a level that you like. A nervous long. I like that terminology. What's your where you wrong on that one, Gold Fever? How much you giving it, and what's your target? $80. Yeah. It's a good risk to reward. $93. Yeah, I think the question is do we, how big of a pullback do we get? That's always the question. Do we run up here and then on the market profile, work our volume in, where we've got more of a volume distribution up in this area? It could happen, right? Or do we pull back lower and then continue? That could happen too. All right, we just put in a new 15-minute bar. We have our first red bar of the day on the 15-minute. Hey, well, you're stopped out, but that's the nature of the beast sometimes, isn't it? A nervous long. I like that term though. A nervous long at 82.5 or 83, whatever it was. All right, coming up to getting closer to the overnight low. Let's look at this guy, 61. I'm gonna pull up NASDAQ real quick. Just want to see where VWAP and halfback is on the NASDAQ as well. All right, so we're reacting off the overnight high. I'll be right back. I'm just looking to see here where I want to do business on a pullback. Be right back. All right, I'm curious as to if that's all we're going to get for a pullback. Curious. Could be. Right, like we've come up so far. We came down to, on the pullback, came down to yesterday's looks like close, and now we're trying to reverse that and then push back up higher. I would feel the bulls want to get it above 84 here. All right, well, just in watching mode right now. Just watching and waiting. I will say that if the market does come down to the low 60s, that's getting close to half back. I will be looking to get long there. I feel I'd be wrong below, call it 53, maybe 52. We'll watch and see what kind of market action we get at that level first. And that's a long ways away. It could be that, we pushed up so high today. It's very likely that we don't come down to that level, and that's okay. That's just the level I know that I would be interested in doing business. But perhaps this is all we get as far as a pullback. This, or maybe a little bit below it, or even down to here. So it's hard to say. Right now, I'm just looking for any other levels that make sense. Any places I might find clues. Gonna take a peek at NASDAQ. Forgive this chart. I've got some old lines on here that I'll just get rid of them. Let me remove and remove. All right. Get rid of these two. Remove that guy. Remove this dude. Alrighty. So again, we'll look and see where halfback is on NASDAQ. It's right here. Who knows if we get that low. Just gonna mark that, kind of keep a note of that. Don't want to see it below that level really. Let's edit this guy, edit. Let's go back to the ES. So we're back here at 80, so no big signs of weakness yet. Again, anything can happen and something will happen. Had a big, nice run up for the early part of the morning, first part of the morning. Now I feel like the new battle zone is between 70 and 84. So flip a coin, right? Heads we go higher, tails we go lower. It's anyone's guess, really. Let me drag up the 15-minute and the 5-minute. So green dotted line again, that's our overnight high. This shaded area just denotes like overnight price action. Then this is regular trading hours, the dark black. So you can see we sold off and then came down to this level. That's a significant level. So that was actually, that would have been a good spot to try to make something happen there. Could have held it, got involved there, and I guess you'd be wrong below 65 or so. Could have been a nice spot, especially with as big as a run up that we've had. So there's our 84. We'll see if we get above it or if it stays below. That's it really. I'm looking for a deeper pullback to get long. 10:15 right now. I wrap it up usually around 10:30. I might stay a little bit longer today, depending on price action and what happens. But that's what I'm thinking. Tack, were you able to grab a short? I know you mentioned that your trailing stop was hit at 37.90 from way below. Were you able to find a short and get in, or not? Gotcha. All right, so getting some kind of response here around 84. So new battle zone, I guess you could call it, between the overnight high, right around like 71.5 to 84. 37.84. Gotcha. I would imagine on that short at 84, you'd be wrong above 37.90. That could be your little node right there. Just go get short and hold it against that node. All right, 10:22. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to sell some right here. I'm wrong about this node. I put my stop just slightly higher than that little node right there. For this short, I want to see it get below 84. There we go. I'm pleased with that. Looking for 78 for a first target. Just seeing if that makes any sense. Looking pretty strong here. All right, I'm almost stopped out on this thing. Pretty close. Need to see it well. So I had my stop here. Figuring I was wrong above that. Didn't have a hard stop in, but I've got a hard stop now. Right at 89.5. I'm tempting fate on this one, I'd say. Just a strong market. Came down to the overnight. Thought we'd show a little weakness here at 37.84. See if we can't get back below it. Then what we do from there. But as of right now, we're showing some strength. But on this one, I know where I'm right. I know where I'm wrong. Wrong above, it's like 37.90 or 37.89.5. I'm right below, if we get below 84 and then 82. First target's going to be 78. And depending on price action, I might just take the whole thing off there at that level. Excuse me, we'll see. Need to see it get below this 84 level. That's kind of the battle zone. Other battle zone would really be, I think you could say, between 90 and 84. I had that marked up earlier. But could probably say that. We'll edit this guy, give it a little color. Moment of truth here for me. Don't want to see it hold and then continue. Like to see it get below this and then push a bit lower. So these lines aren't magic, as I'm sure you guys know, but just drawing them in there to see if I can glean any insight, because there's guys who trade off of trend lines and other lines as well, so just thought I'd see how it's looking. All right, let's see if we pierce 84 now, get a little bit weaker. Or if we hold it. That's the $1 million question, really. All right, I'm pretty close to getting stopped out on this one. All right, stopped out. 0 for 3 today. 0 for 3. I've had better days. Today I'm not profitable, Mr. Harris, but no, I'm profitable. but I'll be the first to admit that I'm not a professional. I'm still trying to just stay consistent with every trade, follow the process well, have a plan and follow it, keep my stops in place, know my targets, know where I'm right, know where I'm wrong. So on that one, looking to get short, thought we'd break 84. Was looking to come down, had my first target at 78. Aware though that the market was super strong, but just knew on this, like I'd be wrong above 89.5 or 90, which in that case I was. So yeah, 0 for 3 today. Missed it once it blasted off higher, and so just been sitting on my hands the rest of the day, just waiting for an opportunity. No, I work for a nonprofit here in my town, close to my house. I did do hail damage repair for 20 years. When cities would have catastrophic hailstorms, I would travel there, work with insurance companies and body shops. Traveled for the last like 5 years, but only did it seasonally, where I'd travel for 3 or 4. I would only work for 3 or 4 months out of the year, and then I'd get to be home. I had to have time off with my family, hang with them. But my kids are just to ages where I didn't want to be out away from them, even if it was for 3 months, and even if the money was really good, which it was. So I decided to take a job that gives back here in my neighborhood, and well, it's different neighborhood, but we work with like underprivileged people, helping them get into homes, and provide a whole bunch of different classes for them and stuff like that. But yeah, that I don't go into that until 11, and the schedule's a little bit flexible. So I've got the ability now to just watch the markets in the morning. And for me, I've realized that less is more. So what would happen when I was doing the paintless dent repair, chasing the catastrophic hailstorms? I'd go out, make a bunch of money in 3-4 months, be done for the rest of the year. Think, okay, I'm going to come back, I'm going to trade, and I'm going to throw a lot of money at this thing and, try to just really kill it. And boy, if you're not disciplined, in theory it sounds good, but if you're not disciplined and if you don't have a plan, that can go south real quick. So with me being home now, it's been nice because I know, like, okay, like I'm not gonna leave, not gonna head out, gonna remain here, and I want to be consistent in the process that I follow. So that's where I'm at. And really, I made this channel just to watch playback of myself. Kind of how football players and basketball players, they'll watch themselves perform, and I'm sure they glean insights from it. That was my purpose and intention in doing this. And I thought, whoever else is watching, wherever they're at in their trading career, whether they're thriving or struggling, just thought it would be a neat place where we could share ideas and talk and learn from each other. So I'm a big believer in just market psychology and trading without emotion. Obviously everyone is, but that's sometimes easier said than done. So yeah, that's a little bit about me, Mr. Harris. Or Harris Miller, Mr. Miller. So we're right back at 90, which had, was a level of significance. I'm going to wrap it up here. No reason in my mind to try to fade this market. The trend is your friend until the end, right? So even here, I stepped away for a little bit, came to here, and it made sense to me that we would hold this level. I was looking for a deeper pullback to get long. Wasn't given that, which, some days you get it and it's great, and other days you don't. But each day is unique unto itself. There's some days too where you can see it right away, you've got a good feel for what's happening, and other days where you're just off a bit. And today, yesterday was managed really well, traded nicely. Today I've just been off and didn't catch that long, looking to get involved somewhere, but didn't have a bunch of strong conviction. Wasn't small enough and managed my losses to where down for the day, but nothing that can't be recovered from. we can't have every trade be winners, I don't think. Yeah, James P. I'm human. I want to be super consistent at not being emotional, but I found too, again, I've mentioned in the past that I wouldn't consider myself a verbal processor, but man, it's been super helpful to sit here and talk through trades, to talk through what I'm seeing. It's really been helpful and nice. Because, I've watched the screens before just by myself when I'm not talking. And let's say this one for example. I thought, well, I'll short it around 84. It's doing this thing. Okay, you get a little pullback. Oh, sweet. Yeah, I've got my stop around, call it 88 or 90, somewhere around there. And initially, I mentioned when I got short around here, I mentioned that I wanted my stop. Figured I'd be wrong if it got above this. Gave it a little bit of leeway because we've had a big move today. Thought, okay, we could have some volatility. Moved it adjusted a little bit, not much. But man, there's times, as you guys well know, when you think, well, let me give it a little bit more room. Let me give it a little bit more room. Let me give it a little bit more. I'm going to adjust my stop, keep moving it. And maybe, if you did that, maybe here you get lucky and we fail and we come down, you get out of it, but maybe you don't. Like maybe you're still holding on to it, still holding the bag, it pulls back to here and then just continues higher. So if we're remembering the words of Mark Douglas that anything can happen and something will happen, we know that we are not God. We are not omniscient and all-knowing when it comes to market activity, because all it takes, no matter how much there's a setup that you like or how much there's a pattern that you like, all it takes is one trader of all the traders to put in a big order, or for people to have a different bias, or for computers to see something that you don't, and to take the market in a completely opposite direction than what you anticipated. And if you're rigid, thinking, man, this has gotta work, it's gotta work, instead of just being like in the zone and kind of flowing, that's a dangerous spot to be in when you're in a trade that has to work. So it's good to know where you're right, good to know where you're wrong. Oh, that's cool, James P. That's great, man. I would recommend doing the same, And it's funny, like, I would try to do it on my own before having, like, a live YouTube channel. And I just couldn't commit to it. Like, I just felt weird. Like, why am I'm just babbling. I'm just going on and on and on. But I thought, all right, I want to do that, and I'm not. Maybe if I did this live and if I had a recording to watch back over my progress, it would help me better understand what I was thinking at the time of the trade. And it really has. So it's been good. It's been a good process. Let's see where we got up to, if we got the 7-8 there. Well, I'm going to be wrapping it up pretty soon here. Hope you guys are trading well. Hope you're trading with targets, knowing where you're right, knowing where you're wrong. Hope you're mindful of the fact that you can and you will have a winning performance every single day. You say, dude, how can I say that I can have a winning performance every day? I can't win every trade. Well, if you define a winning performance as always winning, never having a losing day, then yeah, that's impossible. But if you reframe it and define it as just watching and observing, being an observer of the market, trying to listen to what the market is telling you, if you're not fearing that you'll miss the move, and if you're executing them with stops and targets in place, I would define that as successful if you're following your process well. So that's how you can have a winning performance every day. Not much for me to do here at these levels. We're below our 84. I don't know if that, I mean, again, anything can happen, but let's look at our 5 minute and 15. So we've pushed up very far. We've hung out here for quite a while now. We've been above this level for the last hour and 20, almost hour and a half. Perhaps it's a day where we come up, find some balance in here. Not sure. I feel like that's likely, as opposed to pushing much lower. Oh, absolutely gold fever. Yeah. I mean, there's times when I've been a little bit, gun shy to pull the trigger, because of that. So yeah, when you're, like putting it like on the record, this is what I'm doing. There's some accountability there for sure. It certainly is. All right, so we're getting a bit of a reaction at 84. Here's our 5 minute. So that is the battle zone in my mind, 84. Bulls want it above there, bears want it below, I think. Getting a pretty good move to the downside now. Pull up one more, just in case we do get to that. It's quite a bit higher now. All right, well, that was the move I was looking for that short, but it just ran up a little bit higher. Was looking for that 78, would have been a first area of profit target. Taking off a good chunk there, and then see if we run down a little bit lower and lower still. But that's just how it is. That's how it is. I'm still watching the low 60s for a half back retracement. Feel if it comes down to low 60s, I'd be wrong below about 52. So here she comes, huh? You pull up NASDAQ again. See how it's looking with any kind of retracement. There's a NASDAQ on the 15. I feel like it could very well stay within this congestion area. I don't know if it's congestion, but area where it's found some support the last few days. So let's see if the ES holds here. Second time, let's see if they hold it here. Or if we push lower. Maybe ran some stops there, perhaps. So I suppose if you're long here, you'd be wrong, maybe below 65. Don't know. All right. Pretty big wick on the 5-minute bar. Here's our 5-minute. So tested that level twice. I would imagine most of the people got short here, scaled out some here. We'll look to see if that holds, but this is looking, you know, like the bulls want to keep it back in that area, back in that range. Between 90 and 75. Whoops, hold on. Look out below, huh? Here's NASDAQ. Let's see if it's to its halfway mark. Yeah, halfback is right here on NASDAQ. All right, y'all, that's going to wrap it up for me. It's our 15-minute, getting back in that area there. Still trying to decipher how deep of a pullback we get. Okay, well, trade well. You guys know your targets, keep your stops in place. I'll be back later, and have a good rest of your day.